welcome to Overtime the podcast. Overtime is a podcast dedicated to all things watches, particularly in the micro-brand and affordable range. I'm Praka, and this is my co-host, Justin.
We are two watch enthusiasts based out of Perth, Western Australia. Join us as we discuss our thoughts on new releases, share our personal experiences, and offer our insights on building a collection.
Whether you're a seasoned enthusiast or just starting your journey, Overtime will keep you entertained with informative insights and casual conversations.
Let's get started.
So, Justin, how you going, mate?
Hey, man, I am pretty good on this Thursday. How about yourself?
Good. A little bit warm from the day. I don't need to tell you that. But apart from that, going fairly well, mate. Going fairly well.
Yeah, I mean, driving home today, I was kind of, in the afternoon, you expect it to start dropping off in temp, but I just watched it climb from like 40 in the city to 43 at home. It's like, oh gosh,
that's hot. That is hot.
Yeah, I think it's a 5 to 6 day heat wave this time. So
yeah,
we're in for it.
We definitely are. So yeah, gotta keep cool if you're in this part of the town or this part of the world for sure.
If you can.
Yeah,
it's pretty hard to escape.
I know. Unless you can just jump in the pool and chill out. It's a bit hard.
I got a haircut today, and just walking back from the car, I was like, oh, my back of my head is just not like used to it.
Yeah. I was gonna say looking pretty sharp, but I can't really speak to haircuts much. It's always I gotta make sure I have sunscreen on my head half the time when I'm walking around, otherwise I don't get burnt. Yeah, so actually did it this morning. I was like, no, sunscreen up just in case.
Oh, you need it, yeah.
Yeah. So, well, on that note, wonderful note, just remind me of how old I am. But what well, I guess before we get on with today's episode, what have you got on your wrist today, mate?
Yes, I guess fitting in with summer vibes, I went for the Zelos Swordfish in the Nebula colorway. Hadn't worn it for about a week, and this morning just kind of pulled the watch box down off the shelf and hit the light right in my wardrobe, and I was like, yep, that's it. And I went into some old buildings at work today and kind of got some underground spots where there's just like the tiniest little window shine through of light, and got some cool photos. So
nice.
The Nebula never fails in some like low light conditions where you can see all the texturing of the dial.
Yeah, there was a great photo you sent before, and hope to see some of those shots on Instagram for sure.
Yeah, for sure. What about yourself? What's on the wrist for Thursday night?
Well, Thursday day, I've had the same watch. I've got my Oris Diver 65 Glow. Yeah, what can I say? Wears so well, and it again popped in the sun as well. It's one of those watches that just works really well in the sun. And bracelet, it surprisingly worked well in the heat today. I usually wear this a little looser, and so it turned out okay. So even with the wrist swell, it was fine.
Yeah, I was actually going to change to an 80 for the first time on the Zelos today as well. But I didn't, because I also wear this a bit looser as well. I mean, I feel like my wrist isn't unswelling because it's hot at day and night non-stop at the moment. So it's just one size. One
constant sweaty mess. Beautiful. On that note, what are we speaking about today, man? What are we talking about?
Well, that's a transition on sweaty, smelly messes. We are doing a new release today.
And there's definitely some sweaty releases, and in a sweaty in a good way. So yeah, awesome. Yes, a new release episode. I think it's the first of the season, which is great.
Yeah, first of the season. And we're kicking off. We're going to start with another moon swatch. No, just kidding. Couldn't.
No,
I keep seeing these rendered images of the Snoopy moon swatch, and I'm just like panicking.
Well, because I saw that sort of short video they released, right, with the Snoopy and with the case. Didn't that turn out to be like a collection that they were auctioning off?
It was like a briefcase, watch case type thing with the moon swatches in some sort of moonshine gold spin-off thing, I think. To be honest, you're speaking to the wrong person, because I do not care. I was just like dreading the hype that it got from the community about, Snoopy moon swatches coming. It's just that's been what my Instagram's been for the last week, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I only took little notice to it when I was like, oh yeah, another release, but turned out I think it disappointed people. I don't know how people didn't realize by now that you're going to be disappointed and it's going to be another, gold second hand or something like that. But
Yeah,
yeah,
whatever
yeah,
fruit's next in the basket.
yes, correct, correct. Well, on that wonderful note, we'll kick off with the very first new release that we would like to discuss. It's quite new, actually. It was only yesterday that it was
Mm,
announced. It is a micro brand fan favorite, a Formex, in collaboration with Worn and Wound, the Essence Sector 39 chronometer. So, look, it's incredible. Formex
mm,
Essence 39 is a watch that I've handled. A good friend of the podcast, one of my best mates, has one, and they're incredible watches, really well made. The bracelet is just super well engineered. The case with the cushion suspension system, just it has so many additional bits of engineering into
mm.
this thing. It's definitely not a cookie cutter design. But then, of course, Worn and Wound, right? They've got some banger collaborations, some awesome, colors, designs, and they just do such a great job at it. And this is a collab with Formex. And I'm not sure, is it their first collab with Formex?
I couldn't tell you because, and I was going to say this at some point, but I might get it out the way early with Formex. I feel like if Formex always had this dial like logo, it would be so much further ahead of itself now than what it used to be. 'Cause I feel like whenever I used to see a Formex, it was just that
Mm.
gigantic. It was like a blocky kind of style, wasn't it? That always just stuck in my brain, and like it was like when you stare at a light and it's like burnt into your side. That's what it was. But I feel like if they had have had a bit more of a refined logo like that, this one has been in there, it has been for some time, they would
Yeah.
be miles ahead of themselves. But
Yeah, they had that sort of rally racing style Formex,
mm,
with the slight lean. And I think because they were very racing inspired sort of brand, I think when they were first made. But
yeah,
yeah, for sure. I completely agree.
but better late than never. But anyway, back to this collab. Just the three colorways, you kind of know it's worn and wound.
Yes.
Looking back to the brew collab, I think that like red and blue is basically the exact same red and blue
Yeah.
tones that the pushers and dial had on that. Was it the metric? I think it was.
Yep.
But yeah, you can kind of tell now, can't you?
Yeah,
But
they've
it's a
got
hit out of the park every time.
they've got such a very recognizable design language. Zach
Yep.
Weiss and the team at One and Wound, they're just they make some really good collaborations. Really got a real keen eye
Mm,
for design, and there's some cool inspirations as well. They got like inspirations like I think they pulled in sci-fi films and series to do the to do that. So I think like Blade Runner, Twilight Zone, and all sorts of apparently, all the I don't to be honest, I find it hard to sort of say this is exactly what I can see the inspirations coming from,
mm.
but it's just nice. I'm looking at that white dial with the gold.
The Y is gorgeous.
Oh my God, it was that orange and gold and white, and you got the concentric sort of circles on the outside of the dial, and that date window of the six, that
Yeah.
symmetry with the sector as well. And it's not broken, it doesn't have
Mm.
usually sometimes you see a sector dial with the date window breaking the sector, like the
Yeah.
cut, and it looks weird.
Yeah.
This one just looks good.
Yeah, it looks fantastic, and I like that Formex have a fair bit of like recognizable but very nice brushing on
Mm.
the that I guess it's a bezel, right? Whatever that
Yep.
lip is. Brushing really kind of works well with those circles and the rest of the brushing on the case too. I like the white as well, but I do like this black with what I thought was gilt at first until I had a second look, and it is like a mustardy, yellowy, pasty kind of look to it. I really like that. The contrast works well, black and yellow, right? With
Black
Wiz
and yellow.
Khalifa, it's a great colorway.
Yeah, so
Um,
is it black and almost looks like a black and green, but yeah, it's like
is it green? Oh God.
like a mustardy. Mate, I couldn't tell you. I don't know exactly know what the color way what they called, but then again, Worn and Round do this funny thing. They call it, I think the Nevada Grenchen I've got, they call that a gray dial, but it's far from gray, as you know. It's like a blue.
Yeah.
So I think it's like green or a yellow. It's hard to tell, but yeah,
Doesn't
mate.
say anywhere either.
No, but
This is
it's
we'll go
still, yeah,
mustard.
looks mustard sounds good to me, but it definitely looks pretty good. And, like it's just, I think it's really cool because the last couple of collaborations have been with like a chronograph or with
Mm,
something which is a bit dressy, like with the Laurier and stuff. this one feels very sporty, very, yeah, like I said, very sporty. So I love it. I love it. And the Essence 39 is a great watch. And yeah, it's only 10 mil thick.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, it's stupid thin for what it
yeah,
is. And
yeah,
it looks chunky in the renders and the photos. Like it looks like a big,
yeah.
chunky watch, but it's not.
No.
On this one, do you reckon the blue is a bit lackluster? I feel like there's a bit of a missed opportunity with the blue, like the blue hands being the same color as the inner circle, but not. It kind of doesn't. I don't know. It's just me. Like it is all
Mm,
personal opinion. Obviously, there's people who are going to love it, but I just feel like it doesn't just contrast well. And then I understand orange second in the sector,
mm.
the second's hand, but that date wheel just looks so out of place. I mean, it might look different in person, but in the renders, it just looks like they've kind of hit fill on paint and it's just filled the gap with that orange. Because it looks like
Yeah,
a different orange, right? It looks a lot lighter than the seconds and the sector in the render here.
yeah. I think I see what you mean. Yeah, I think the date wheel is like a see-through orange date wheel as opposed to
Oh, that
obviously
makes
it's
more
like a
sense.
yeah, it's like a see-through. Yeah. So yeah, I see what you're saying, but I think the colors are very, like you said before, very worn and wound, like that blue,
Mm,
especially there's a Timex collab that they did, which has similar color.
yep.
My Nevada Grenchen as well, similar color.
There's that Timex
Even
that was for sale in Perth that I think you
yes,
sent to me that looks like
I
that
did.
middle fort, the black and green as well. It kind of fits there
Correct. Black
too.
and green. Yeah. So they pull upon that same aesthetic, and it's cool. I like the fact that they're very consistent in their design language, and you know, it's not just another colorway. Like there's a lot to it. It's in these collaborations. It's not just like, yeah, we're just gonna give you purple or black or whatever, and it's very different. And yeah, I think this is an absolute hit. And yep, you can buy it now direct from their website for, I'll tell you how much right now. So it's 15.90 USD, but it's only limited and there's only 50 of each. So yep, look, by the time this episode's released, it might all be sold out. I'm sorry. But if it isn't, go get one. As we speak, you can get it from their website. So it is 15.90 USD or 2,484 Australian dollars.
Yeah, I think it's definitely worth the price as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Not a
For sure.
stretch at all.
Yeah.
Sweet. All
What have
right,
we got
moving on
next?
to the next release. This is one that I'm pretty excited for. So this is the Longines Central Power Reserve Display. I think they're calling it. I've looked at a couple of different articles and I can't find an actual name except for that. Oh, here, is this it? Conquest Heritage Central Power Reserve.
That's it.
There we go. Yeah, I got it. I just didn't read the first line under the article. I love this. So this is cool. This is
Yeah.
like obviously they're pulling from the back catalog like we've seen plenty of over the past nearly a year of us speaking now on the podcast. But I think this I haven't bothered to look at what this is referencing to, but I
Mm,
feel like it's just reading the article and seeing it's from 1959.
yeah.
It gives you that feeling straight from looking at it.
Yeah, for sure. Longines have done such a great job in recent years. Yeah, like you said, pulling out the back catalog and doing these vintage reissues fantastically well, almost like one to one, but obviously with a high level of finish and everything else. And yeah, Longines have they have such a story history, right?
Yeah,
They've got yeah, so old, been around for the longest time. They've done all sorts of different pieces, and their dress pieces are, for me, Longines means dress. Like I always,
yeah.
that's what I attribute it to. And yeah, I think it's called a reference 9028 Conquest 9028 from 1959, which was, I think it was, 35 millimeter watch,
Mm.
and it had that central power reserve, which is an awesome way to display a power reserve, because sometimes the power reserves on dials can be jarring. They're
They
sort
feel
of,
like an afterthought. They feel like it's got to go somewhere, so let's just whack. I think like Grand Seiko does it very well,
yeah.
but apart from that,
Yeah. I have seen, some of the Grand Seiko's power reserves look good, some not as much. Seiko Presage, there was actually a good friend had a Seiko Presage with a power reserve, but it looked a little bit out of place. So this one just, elegant is the word, I would say.
yeah, I think it does a fantastic job of what it's supposed to do. And like a gilt style dial on white is beautiful. Hey, it does something to me.
Yeah,
Um,
and the indices is, like just, raised, and that gold, and even it just looks awesome. That's all I'm gonna say.
it looks real refined,
Yeah.
but like perfected as well. It looks like they've got a line called is it the Master Series? That's
Yes.
all the white dot. It looks like that, and like I can't remember what the other line in the Longines one is. I'll think of it eventually, but it feels like those two have combined in a way.
Yeah.
But I like the date window 12 is
Mm.
something interesting as well. You don't see that all the time. I feel like you always see the day up there, if anything.
Yeah,
But
you're right.
for being fairly down into the dial and not like up around where the indices would sit if it was at 6, like you think of 6 o'clock date window. This sits fairly down, but it's done very tastefully.
Yeah, yeah, and I like the fact that there's a bit of depth to that date as well, where
Mm,
I guess the date window is also raised. It's not
yeah,
just flat, it's 3D with the indices as well. So I think it just gives that level of, it's just something different, and it's just very nice. Like, all the writing and stuff as well on it. The Conquest automatic just feels like from yesteryear. They're
it
really,
does.
there's nothing modern looking in this yet. It's refined and finished like a modern watch. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the grey dial on the rose gold hands is probably my favorite out of the lot. The black
Yeah.
and white is also beautiful. That's contrast there is unbeatable, but the rose on grey is stunning. And looking at the actual original reference from 59,
Mm.
it's a yeah, now I've looked it up, it's a pretty like what do you call it? Like a
1 to 1 almost. Yeah.
yeah, faithful
Faithful design. Yep.
nod back to it. Yep.
For sure. For sure. And the size as well. It was 35. Now it's 38. And
Mm,
I think it's 12.3 mils thick. So look, 38 is still a good size for a dress piece. And I think Longines, like a lot of Swiss brands, I think fallen, especially Swiss brands from that are in the Swatch group, they seem to fall into the trap of, I guess, slightly bigger watches than
yeah,
what you
yeah.
possibly want for the style. But however, this is, I think, quite appropriately sized, and it's just, yeah, it's 72-hour power reserve. It's pretty cool for a dress piece as well. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's stunning. Yeah, I don't know if I could pull it off myself, but I feel like if you, it reminds me of like an old man's watch. Like
Yes.
you can see at the coffee shop. It's got a
Yeah.
cool story.
But in
Um,
like not a disparaging way at all.
no,
Like
not at
as in
all.
like
No,
if it
like
was like a real classy
yeah,
old person, older gentleman wearing it, and you're like,
yeah,
yeah, you definitely, and yeah, you probably need to as well. And if at the price, it's 4,250 euros. So yes, I don't think a
it's
lot of
up there.
us, yes, I don't think a lot of us Gen Zs or millennials who are going to be splashing their cash for a occasional dress piece. That's for sure. So yeah,
But it's probably
4,000.
quite obtainable though.
It is
You,
actually, yeah, if you think about what you're getting compared to some of the other, you know, I mean, this, for me, I look at this and I go, it's sort of dressy like a Patek. Obviously it's not
mm,
the same
yeah, you're right.
caliber,
Yeah,
not the same level, of course, but why not?
it's in
It's
that vein. Yeah,
exactly, it's in that design, it's in that vein. And yeah, I think it's 7,000 Australian dollars. So it's up there, but pretty cool. Pretty cool.
yeah. What at that kind of price point is a competitor to this kind of watch though? I think this kind of stands out. Like if I'm thinking
Mm,
like JLC and stuff that I've tried on in some of the places
mm,
in Perth, it all shoots above that price point for something like this.
yeah. Yeah.
I think this kind of stands out at that price.
Yeah, Longines sort of stand in that
Mm,
in between sort of range, don't they? They don't
yeah.
quite, yeah. And yeah, I'm thinking, is there an Omega that sort of does something similar? Probably not. Probably not. Yeah, good
No, I think
question.
the
Good question though.
constellations are fairly expensive and stuff. But anyway,
Yes. Yeah. No, it's a good thought. Oh, listeners, if you know a watch that's similar to this Longines that, from a different brand that might be a bit cheaper, let us know.
mm,
We will be interested for sure.
definitely.
Cool. All right, let's move on to the next watch we got today. This brand is a brand that I've heard before, but more used to their dive watches, not so much their GMT watch, not so much this watch. So this brand is called Jack Mason, and they're based out of Texas in America, and they some of their models seem a bit, how do you say it, fashion more style looking, but
They
yeah,
feel like an Ali Express kind
yeah,
of hit, wacky dial, and these remind me of movement when movement first came out.
correct. Some of them definitely do that, but
Mm,
some of them you're like, wow, this is actually really well defined. Like there's this the GMT, which is the Strata timer, which is the one that I've looked at before. But we're not talking about any of those. We're talking about their newest, which is their three. What do you call it? It's just a simple three-hander. It's called the Illum, which is just a dress watch. It's a simple dress watch with a central seconds hand, many different, many different dial, various colors, and it's dirt cheap.
yeah, it's nothing, is it?
It is
The gold
100,
one's 119.
yeah, 119, 196, and the blue one's 119. It's like yeah, US dollars. It's not much at all. It's just a Miota quartz in it, of course, and but I just thought it stood out. And shout out to on Instagram actually, who was sported wearing this, Sophie's Watch World. So yeah, she got one of these in, and I was like, oh, this is cool. I've never seen this before. And then I did a bit more research, and I was like, oh, this is actually really cool. And sort of following the theme of, I guess, like dressy pieces with a central something, not quite central
Yeah,
power reserve, but obviously, you can get the same-ish look, not refined, not that thing, but a lot cheaper. So yeah, something a bit different. What are your initial thoughts in this?
yeah, it's not for me, but yeah, it's just because I'm not a dress watch person as it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
But yeah, just for me, I like it's got its place in the hobby. Obviously, its price
Yes.
point and what you take away from it, it's an absolute bargain. I think, yeah, in terms of value for money, you get a little bit of color on that little second hand as well. So you're not just getting like the exact same tone of, I'm looking at the gold across all surfaces. So
Mm.
there's a bit of breakup there. The dial is kind of reminding me, like, not the hands or anything like that, just that kind of pan shaped dial, like, or
The pie pan
pan
sort of. Yeah.
pan. It's
Yep.
kind of, yeah, reminding me of some Certina model in my head, like
Yep.
an old Certina.
Mm.
But yeah, I think it's more than got its place in the hobby. It's just not for me.
Yep. Yep. No,
I don't
fair
know where I
enough.
wear this.
Fair
I have no
enough.
idea.
Yeah, it is a bit of an, I guess, yeah, quiet, or you need an occasion to wear it, unless you're wearing dress kind of watches all the time. But yeah, definitely inspired by sort of that, mid-century sort of stuff, 50s, 60s. It's slim, it's quartz, it's got your, it's a Miata quartz in it. 40 mil, probably a bit big for the what the watch actually is, but
Yeah.
super thin, 100-meter water resistance. It just, it's a dressy all rounder, I guess. You could just wear it and look at the price, 100 and
This is if
yeah,
yeah, if you wanted something just to wear to work and back every day, and
yep,
not have to, if you catch at the train and don't want to wear something super expensive, you could chuck that on
yes.
instead. But yeah, it's just I just keep looking at it. I'm sorry, I have no purpose for this in my collection.
Yep, yep. And I mean, if people don't quite like that, Jack Mason do have some pretty cool stuff as well. They've got this thing
Mm,
called the Stratotimer GMT, the Americana, I think it's called. Just very big, chunky GMT, Miota GMT. So it's the, what do you call it? The Flyer GMT, not the Caller
yeah,
GMT. Very much, inspired by Rolex, GMT Master, but also SKX, but also, it's Turtle. Like it's got a bit of everything in it, but it's cool. I think,
these
yeah, I like it.
the all white hydro timer is more my type of thing. That's very cool.
Let me
Everything's
see.
white. It's awesome. $1,100. It's quite an expensive watch, but very
Yes.
cool. Very
Yes.
cool.
1100. That's AUD. Yeah. Okay, cool. That's
Yes. Yep.
1100. Yeah.
The
I don't
diver.
know. Yeah.
Hydro timer diver, 300 meters. Yeah, it's obviously got a white ceramic bezel, white strap, white dial, black minute tracker, but all the indices are white. Hands are very white, but it just works. I feel like there's a lot of attempts to do a frost or that all white aesthetic, and it isn't done well. But I think this is layered with that black minute track
Yeah.
very well.
Yeah, it reminds me a bit of Doxa, reminds me a
Yeah,
bit
that's what I
of
was thinking. Yep.
reminded me of different Doxa, a bit of Helm in there as well.
Helm's definitely there. Yep.
And it's I don't know if you scroll to the right, there's a loom shot in there. It's pretty cool. BGW9 blue super
Oh, that does work
luminova.
well. Actually,
Mm.
the making the those 3, 6, and 9 indices look like screw heads in the looms actually kind of cool.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
That's cool. Yeah, very
Sweet.
different. Yeah. All right. Well, we'll move on from Jack Mason
Yep.
and let's go to the next one. What do you got?
All right. We're gonna have a chat about a watch that releases in 1 hour, 46 minutes exactly right now. Now,
Counting down.
Zelos has the Eagle Titanium or Eagle 2 Titanium. It's a pilot's watch, which I think is Zelos have their pilot's watches. They've got their kind of pilot chronographs as well. But it's cool to see one of these actually come out because it's not often. They come out once or twice a year. That's it.
Mm.
I'm very interested to see how quickly these get snapped up in comparison to some of the diver releases recently. I feel like these are going to be more required because of less divers coming out. Sorry, more divers coming out, less pilots watches from Zelos. And I feel like there's no filler here. I think the colorways they've got, we've got the Eagle 2 Titanium Arctic, which is the all white and busy dials, black indices, your black kind of triangle at the top, black hands. Aventurine is in the mix. We've got the gold carbon look again, but not the same as Zelos has done before. It's more, it looks like wood grain instead of kind of the washy look they did on the, can't remember the other one. It was their field watch they did.
Mm.
They have a grey meteorite with like a heat. It wouldn't be heated blue, but it's blued. I don't know what that circle is in the middle. What's the terminology for that? Do you know?
Like
It's like an inner ring, an inner
yeah,
chapter
it's
ring sort of thing.
the inner dial, I guess. Yeah, it's like a concentric circle on the inside. Yeah, yeah. Not quite chapter rings.
That
Chapter
chap
rings normally outside. Yeah.
on the outside, yeah. I just
Uh,
thought with the indices being inside that ring, it looks like a small chapter ring that would be on the outside usually.
yeah.
Anyway, that blue look looks fantastic on the meteorite. Um,
Yeah, yeah, I definitely, yeah, that blued hands and the meteorite, the gray contrasts really well.
and teal.
I, yes, 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 and the teal as well. What for me, I think the pick is the Aventurine or the Arctic.
Yeah.
I reckon again, it's probably the cleanest, even though the blued sort of, blued hands or the colored blue hands and stuff's pretty cool. But yeah, I like the aventurine contrast and the Arctic. But overall, I'm I'm a little bit I don't want to say I'm the biggest fan of this release. I feel like it's a bit different to a lot of the Zeloses that I've seen before. Maybe I don't quite look at this and go, yeah, that's a Zelos. But then again, I'm not super experienced in Zelos. So people who know Zelos a lot more might look at it and go, yeah, of course it's Zelos. What are you talking about? But for me, it just doesn't scream Zelos. But in saying that, classic in Zelos fashion, classic Zelos fashion, it's packed with specs, it's got your titanium case with this, it's got the hardness finish as well, the 1200 Vickers scale with all that, surface hardening and the
Mm.
movement. The movement is a Le Jour Parade movement. I mean, that's pretty cool.
Oh,
So
it's very cool.
yeah, I don't imagine this to be very cheap because of that movement.
Yeah.
849 USD.
Yeah.
Yep, yep.
I
So
have a I have a gripe about this watch as well that I want you to either validate or tell me that I'm an idiot. If you're familiar with Zelos' sister company, Ventus watches, I'm not sure if you've seen them before.
yes, yes, I have.
Type that into a separate tab and look at the first watch that comes up and tell me that is not this watch exactly, just with a different label on it.
The Maury or the
Uh,
North.
I'm not sure which one it is. It's the first one that popped up on my screen
It's
in
the Black Kite.
the black. Yeah, that one there. Is that not a copy and paste of exactly what's going on here? Just in different textures and dials and material?
Ooh.
Apart from crown guards, remove those crown guards, and I get that the case material is different. This is pretty similar.
Mm. Yes, it is. But I'll give him one thing is that it's a pilot's watch and pilot's watch have the same DNA. They all have
They
that
do, they
same
do.
layout and everything else. So I get what you're saying. So yes, I mean, if you wanted a very similar looking watch from about, I think it's a 499 USD, so a lot cheaper.
A lot
But
cheaper.
oh wow, that's a carbon fiber
It
case.
is carbon fiber. It's like layered like Damascus too. Like there's some cool stuff going on in that watch.
God damn, this is cool. Okay, yeah, go get this instead. Nah, joking. But
Yeah.
yeah, this. I mean, look, the it's cool, and I just think the attraction here is the titanium, the dial for some of them as Zelos, and I think the movement is pretty cool too. Like I said, the
Mm,
Legere movements aren't movements to scoff at, and that custom turbine rotor thing is quite cool. The jet
yeah.
engine pilot, turbines. Yeah, I
Yeah. The
like it.
nod to the aviation industry. I
Yeah.
think these Zelos are interesting. They fall into like I'd even say looking back at my collecting, like all I ever owned was dive watches from Zelos. And I'd say I was a Zelos collector, but not the hardcore. I was more of a dive watch collector, and Zelos really fell into my taste. These ones are the hardcore collectors. I think pick these up. Like the Aventurine is going to go to one hardcore collector we know, but
Yeah.
I feel like people pick these gold carbons up just to have one in those kind of collection. Even though don't like get angry at me, but that gold carbon is hideous. It is
Yeah.
not a good looking watch. But I feel back to just on the release,
Mhm.
there's a lot less filler here. There's five choices instead of like two sizes, and among like those sizes having like 4 to 5 colorways each.
Yeah.
I feel these will go a lot quicker than what we've used to, and then the Zelos forums will be up in arms about not being available this time like they were last time. Even though I think prices, I mean not prices,
Stock levels
availability
are
is going to
probably
be the
high.
same.
Yeah, exactly. But I guess the difference here is that it's not a standard case, right? The
Yep.
the the dive cases are probably, he might make more because the molds might already be there ready. And with this titanium case, it's a little bit different. And sort of that lugs, how do you say it? It doesn't it looks very different, right? The lugs look like they protrude
I
out
feel
of the
like a smooth
case. Yeah.
attachment. Yeah.
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 I think it really works for the style they're going for. It's like the, sort of futuristic like almost like a fighter jet,
Mm,
lines. I don't know how to explain it very well. I'm doing a terrible job at it, but I just think it works quite well. And even the crown with the, what looks like a turbine as well.
yeah.
So yeah, look, there's plenty of cool design elements in here that looks very well thought out. And then I think, yeah, it's 150 pieces, it looks like. Have you
Yeah.
seen a thing of the case backs? 150 pieces per colorway, maybe, but
Yeah.
maybe not the Venturine. Venturine, I'm sure it's less. Oh no, it does say 150 pieces as well. Or maybe it's just
Unless
a
it's the same image rendered over each one.
that's
Um,
probably it. But I'll be curious to see, yes, like you said, how quickly it goes.
but yeah, I like it. Like I like the Arctic the most out of all of them. I think it's stunning. I do like the meteorite too, but I just think there's a lot going on. But I think thinking about like my work day, I think the Arctic would really work for me. But I will not be purchasing it because not on the cards at the moment. I'll explain
No.
why at the something interesting part of the episode.
Cool. I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, you know what? Many cool things to like about it. There's an image, side on image that's not a render, that's showing the indices,
Yes,
the case, the cut and the side of the case. There's like
it's like a
is it
groove.
a groove?
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, look, there's a lot of cool things about this, and the carbon fiber looking thing on the inside. I don't know if that's actually carbon fiber, but everything looks very engine, very turbine, very,
mm.
just cool stuff. And
The hollowed lugs as well, like seeing through them at
yeah,
angles is really cool.
yeah, there's so much. I feel like they've really undersold themselves by not putting more of those side-on images in the in
Yeah,
the initial photo releases. I mean, I'm sure people will look into it deeper who actually want to purchase this, but you look at that one photo with on the Arctic lying on the rock or salt or sand or whatever it is. That's cool.
yeah,
That's very cool.
yeah, very cool.
Awesome. All right.
Sweet. All right. Well, I guess moving on to a brand that's near and dear to you.
Yes, and it is Dorenzo. Dorenzo from a friend of the show, Sergio Dorenzo, of course. Yeah, it's his newest release, the DRZ06 Wandering Star. So look, Dorenzo is well known for their design, their
Hmm.
pure design and execution of the design. There's so much into it, he's all about the cars and pulls so much stuff. And when we discuss with him, pulls stuff from car racing, from aviation, and all sorts of stuff. And it's very unique. Not many micro brands do what he does, and this one is like that exactly. It's
Mm.
very unique. It's almost like a turtle-esque case, but not. And then the bracelet is, it looks big, looks chunky. The whole watch is its own. It looks big, but really it's not. It's
Mm.
only 38 mil diameter watch, and 46 mil lug to lug, and 10.8 mils high. Yeah, that's including the sapphire crystal. Like this
Yeah,
watch
yeah.
is not big at all, but the design
It
makes it
just
look.
looks chunky.
It does, makes it look beefy, it makes it look chunky, but it's gorgeous, and I love the the loom in this thing. It's just incredible. There's like
It's
a
gorgeous.
yeah, it's I'm looking at that black. The black dial is my favorite. The black with the
Hmm.
so the second hand is it's called the Wandering Star because you're not. It's just the red circle going
Yeah,
around, and it's a hand wind movement,
so cool.
and yeah, and it's there's a lot of elements in here that's very Dorenzo. The bowl shaped dial, which is the same as what he had in the Dorenzo 04, but just yeah, done so well. And yeah, I love it. I think
It looks fantastic on those leather straps as well. I think I'm so used to seeing the Dorenzo on a bracelet. It's really refreshing to see that. But what I think I do really love about this brand is you can't mistake this for anything else. Like
yeah,
you really can't. If you're gonna walk, us watch nerds and the ones who are deep in the hobby in the rabbit hole, you could mistake a turtle for a steel dive from a mile away.
yeah,
You could mistake a swordfish for a samurai if it was the right colorway. This it really stands on its own 2 feet. This brand, it's awesome. And yeah, this watch particularly is we always talk about this like ceiling of how much you can do and change. And yeah, this is again something else that I've not seen from
mm,
another brand. The Wandering Star effect in the second hand is very cool.
yeah, for sure. And yeah, I like the fact that you actually see the renders, like you say, on leather as well.
Hmm.
It really changes the watch, I think, with the leather. It almost looks almost like especially the black leather, almost looks like a I don't know, like a bun strap style without being a bun strap
Actually, you're
style.
right. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, because it's so wide, it does look that way.
correct. Yeah, it's a wide case, and yeah, you're not going to mistake it for anything else. And I'm just a sucker for for the designs, and it's so distinctive. And again, for what you get, in terms of the specs, the design, the thought, what, yeah, or everything. So you're not just getting specs this time around, you're getting everything. And it's, what do you call it? And a pre-sale price of 780 Swiss francs with the bracelet or 750 with just the leather strap. I recommend getting the bracelet if you're going to get it. It's
Mm.
fantastic, and you can always buy the leather strap after. And retail is 840 Swiss francs and leather straps 810 Swiss francs. So for those who want to know the quick conversion, what is the conversion? I'll quickly do that. We're looking at 1,300, 1,000, no, less than that actually. We're looking at, yeah, 1,373 Aussie
Yeah,
dollars. That is
I think it's a steal. Yeah.
insane value for what you get at a micro brand with all this thoughtfulness. It's not, run of the mill. Yeah.
You literally can't buy another micro or mainstream brand that looks and feels like this watch. Like I've handled your Dorenzo, and it
Yeah.
is like in comparison to my micros and the rest of your micros in a league of its own.
Yep. Yep.
There, you really can't find something that is similar.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, we just have to go back and talk about some of the watches that we talked about today. I mean, look at that Hydro Timer Jack Mason.
Mm,
I mean,
same price, yeah.
mate, it's it's leagues apart. We've been talking about like the uniqueness and the finishing and everything else, and yet yeah, like I said, the price. So it always pays to shop around, to look out for something unique. And this is
Yeah,
one of them.
I assume with that like Jack Mason on that diver, that Hydro, whatever it was,
Mm.
that 1300 that comes from majority, I'd say, from the movement, right? It's a different movement compared to whatever is in that quartz Miota that was there.
Yeah, the form parts of it. Obviously, the
It's a
case
pretty
design would be a lot more better than the other one. But
I'd be
yes,
better, but it's pretty generic. Like you said,
it is.
the one
Dive
above the
case.
GMT was an Explorer, not Explorer, a GMT two Master two. They're pretty generic stuff. Whereas in what you're getting for $1,300 here in comparison with Dorenzo is completely different. You're paying for a whole process of thought to fruition, and
Yeah,
then the wearing experience.
for sure, for sure. And and you're supporting a passionate owner in Sergio. Like he's yeah, as again, I think I'll link the sh episode in the show notes. I think it's probably the first time we've done this, but definitely worth ha going back and listening a back catalog and listening to our interview with Sergio, just to listen his passion for design and how much he puts into these watches. And he really stands with the brand, there's a lot there.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. So, yep, you can pick this up on the 10th of Feb, and that's when the pre-sale starts. I'm not sure exactly how long the pre-sale goes for. I would assume it's for at least 48 hours or a couple of days. So go check it out. Go grab it. I just think it's going to fly. Terenza seems to always sell out. So definitely go check it out.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. Cool.
Sweet.
All right. Well, that's come to the end of our new releases episode. Again, time flew past, but we've come to our something interesting section of the podcast. So, Justin, what have you got to speak about this week?
Yeah, so I alluded a little bit earlier. Um, so this isn't going to be a watch related one. Well, somewhat is. I was using my watch while I was doing this afternoon, but I think I've just discovered a new hobby.
What's that?
I ran into you, well, I didn't run into you. We met up in the city earlier this week, and
Yeah.
I told you I purchased a relative a RC car for his birthday.
Yes, you did.
My
Yeah.
intrusive thoughts opened the box because I was like, oh, if I destroy it, I'll buy him a new one. And I have played with it so much in the alleyway because this thing does 65 kilometers an hour for a $200 RC car. It absolutely flies. But I couldn't believe how quickly it is. And then I was like, all right, well, it's pretty fun. And then I went back to the shops. I was like, I want to keep it now. And then I just got opened up to the world of like this remote control or hobby car situation and spent a little bit more on it
Yeah.
and managed to get something that sits around the 85K mark and is built for
Oh,
jumps. And yeah, I've been YouTubing all about servicing and oiling shocks and all this
oh
sort of
God.
stuff. And now I'm like, okay, I even kind of looked into these RC groups where they're doing like rally racing and stuff. And then
Wow.
like the reason my cousin's into it is because my dad is into it. He's been into it for a long time, but he's into like building actual like model, like exact replica model like Land Rovers and
Okay.
stuff, and like full drives and whatnot. But yeah, I think it's a cool hobby where it's kind of like watches as well. You don't have to pay a fortune to get something cool. You can walk in and get $100 RC car that's got a brushless engine in it that'll do 40 k's an hour.
Yeah.
It's very cool, very fun. And the way I was using my watch, I was racing it around this little loop at the lake this afternoon and using the chrono in my new watch, which I haven't spoken about yet on the podcast,
Oh, you
to
have it.
time a lap.
Yes.
Yeah, to time
Yeah.
a lap.
That's super cool. It's so funny that you talk, yeah, because I think my kids and wife, they were in there's a bike park near us that
Yep.
it's got like a I guess, what do you call it, like a BMX track sort of thing.
Is this
Um
Caramar?
no, 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 no. It's not Karama. Yeah, but it's quite nearby. But
Yeah.
there's a basically, yeah. Anyway, he just rides his bike around it, and so that are kids. But there was a guy with an RC car flying around it, and they were like, "Oh, this is cool." And the guy was like
Yeah.
showing them all this cool stuff, and was jumping over. So yeah, I don't have like much experience with RC cars. I think we had like a really cheap one that
Mm.
we got, and we were just playing around with it at home. But it did all the, how do you call it? It's kind of like the wheels would flip, so the whole thing would like rotate and do all this sort of stuff. So
Oh,
not
yeah. Yep.
not not your, just flying down, not the real fast ones. But have you heard of this brand called Tomica? It's a
Yes.
Japanese, yeah. I used to have all these Tomica cars back in the day, right? It's not quite RC, but
Yeah.
they do have RC. I think they have RC ones as well. But it just reminded me of when you said that your dad looks at like one-to-one sort of stuff. So Tomica do heaps of like, they actually do like, Lexus and
Yeah. Yep.
Nissan and Toyota and stuff. And there's this really cool custom AE86, which is
Sweet.
the drift, the drift car, the
Yep.
classic. Yeah, they've got like a custom Tomica thing there as well. So anyway, just yes, very, very cool indeed.
No, what I liked is that, like, I went in, and the guy, like, in the shop, he kind of explained to me, all you have to do is change the wheels to like a set of like on-road wheels, and it becomes a drift car. I was like, what do you mean? And he changed the wheels in front of me, and you got a completely different thing to drive. But it's sort of in the not in the same vein as watches, obviously, but I think it's going to be something that's a lot of tinkering. It's more something I'll be able to enjoy with my kids a bit more. Like my son's
Yeah.
definitely plays at my dad's house as well. I don't know why it's taken me this long to actually get one because my dad had them when I was growing up and they were
Mm.
fun and whatnot. But yeah, for spending, I think I spent around 380 AUD to get like a somewhat mid to high range car that's built to last.
Mm.
I'm going to get plenty of fun out of it.
That's awesome. All right, we'll chuck a link to,
Yeah.
to
Yep.
to one of those in the show notes so people can join another hobby that
And
spend infinite amounts of money in.
if anyone's into it, do reach out because I'm keen to learn and see where money best goes in this hobby as well.
Awesome. I feel like hobbyists, watch enthusiasts, we've always got something else as well. Some people always have,
Oh,
watches and cameras, watches and pens, watches
oh, my
and
granddad and
everyday
pens,
carry. Yeah.
unreal. He's got like a shed with just like glass box full of fountain pens,
Oh,
full of them.
there you go. There you go. Yeah. I don't think I'm anything apart from watches at the moment. I used to collect all sorts of other stuff, but yeah, I think we spoke
Mm,
about this back in the day. But
yep, yep.
nice. I like it. Very cool. Very cool.
Sweet. What do you got for us this week?
All right. Well, this week it's a bit of a shameless self-plug.
Plug away.
So I recently joined a YouTube channel on a Perth-based YouTube channel called Three Watch Collection. So basically, they do interviews with people and to go through their three watch collection, why they chose the three watch collection, and just some questions around it, some collecting questions. And yeah, it was awesome. Guess we know them through Red Bar. And
Hmm.
just had a chat and was like, yeah, why don't you come on? And I was like, cool, sounds good. And I did. And it was something a little bit out of my comfort zone. I'm getting used to talking over audio, that
Yeah.
doesn't seem to be an issue, but over video, yeah, I was a little bit nervous, but yeah, I'm happy how it turned out, and shout out to Chris, Bianca, doing the great job out there. Yeah, just there's a whole market of YouTube watch channels that are saturated that sort of do all the similar stuff, and this is just a bit different,
Yeah.
having the sort of
Yep.
three watch collection stuff and talking to, I guess, everyday people as well. There's all sorts. So there's collections that are a bit expensive or not so expensive and different stories. And anyway, yeah, I had a lot of fun doing it. And I'll chuck a link in the show notes as well so you can watch that video. And also please check out all the other videos as well. There's some awesome collections and some awesome people there that yeah, you guys should definitely check out.
Yeah. No, very cool. I'm watched it myself yet because I think it dropped today. Was it
Yes, it was today.
today?
Yeah,
Yep. So
yeah.
I am going to give it a watch straight after this. I look
Awesome.
forward to it. I assume the experience, like I'm sitting in front of my like two monitors with a tiny little Logitech camera, is a bit different to having like a bit more of a professional setup
Oh yeah,
over there.
you wouldn't believe it. I walked in there and I was just like, whoa, this is like a full
It's a
studio.
set.
It was a full set and it was super professional. It was yeah, I was blown away actually at the speed to, from
Mm,
starting the channel to where they are now, and then the questioning, the production value, the editing, the interview questions. It was just incredible actually. So I wish them all the best, and like always, we love supporting other ventures and other people's and
mm.
podcasts and YouTube channels and stuff. So yeah, definitely listeners, please go watch the Three Watch Collection on YouTube. We'll put a link. And yeah, and if there's anyone else out there that's listening that, has their own podcast, has their own YouTube channel, it doesn't have to be watches, it could be anything, we'd
Mm.
be interested. Hey, I mean, RC cars, whatever, reach out.
Oh,
Be
for
cool.
sure. Yeah. I was actually like, get into the brim fishing competitions here in Perth, and there's an actual guy who I was chatting to, and I didn't know why I didn't bring the podcast up to him, but he does a podcast on brim fishing tournaments around Australia, and there could be a potential for him to come over because he wears the same G-Shock he's worn for 20 years on his Hobie kayak every day of his life, pretty much since he owned it.
That's so cool. That's so cool.
Potential was something there. I forgot to tell you that, but I just couldn't believe we didn't cross that link. We've been chatting for quite a while in person when we go out to some comps last year, and just never thought to bring it up.
Talk about watches. Oh, there you go. There you go. It's a small world. So yeah, awesome. Cool. All right. Well, look, let's come to the end of the episode. It was a good chat as always. And yeah, if there's nothing else, we'll leave it right there.
Yep. Stay cool, and I will chat to you later.
You too, mate. Cheers.
Take care.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us on Overtime the podcast. We hope you enjoyed this episode.
You can find us on our Instagrams at Overtime the podcast, at Kinda Average Watches, and at Horology Capture.
We appreciate your support and value your feedback. If you have any questions, suggestions, or topics you'd like us to cover in future episodes, please hit us up. We would love to hear from you.
Until next time.